Hello friends, my name is Koolio and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're taking a first look impressions video for AxE or Alliance X Empire. Now this is a new mobile MMORPG developed by Nexon that has been available over in the East. However, it was IP blocked, so you weren't able to play it unless you used a VPN. And now it has officially launched as of last night here in the West. Now before we get into the game and I talk about some of the mechanics and gameplay elements that this game has, I want to let you guys know that this game really isn't an MMORPG. It's an MMO character management game where essentially you're going to be auto-questing, auto-pathing through a lot of the different elements and gameplay mechanics that this game has to essentially develop, increasing the overall power of your character, getting better equipment, going through dungeons and fighting more monsters just to get better equipment and to continue through there. But most of the stuff in this game is going to be auto-quested, auto-combat, and I know that's going to turn a lot of people off, so I want to let you guys know right up front that this game pretty much essentially plays itself most of the time. Now, I will say, according to what it is, this auto-questing MMORPG, this character management game, it is a good version of that. It does a lot of things quite well. However, this does lead me into the first big negative that I have with this game is the combat system. Now, this game has a huge emphasis on PvP, especially open world PvP, where you're going to come across other players of a different faction that you can essentially attack right in the open world, taking them down and things like that. There are some protected areas where you can't be attacked. However, I'm level 16. It took me about 2 hours to get to that point, and I haven't come across anyone of a different faction, so it's probably not something you're going to come across until a lot later. But this is my first major complaint. With a game that has a heavy emphasis on PvP and taking care of other players, the combat in this game kind of sucks. Now, what I mean by that is you do have auto combat, so if I just go ahead and turn this on, my character will just run around taking out enemies and stuff like that with flashy animations and things. That's not bad, it's okay. What really bugs me about the game is when you try to take over manually, you come to find out that all of the skill animations are locked, meaning that like if you try to move your character when a skill is being activated, you are locked within that animation and you can't do anything until the animation is over. So you can't automatically cancel out of it or manually cancel out of an animation. You have to wait till it plays all the way through or an enemy does some kind of a stun towards you. And so one of my biggest complaints is when I was playing through this game, running around, I was auto-pathing to a new area and I came across a world boss that looked super cool and I actually wanted to investigate it and to fight it. But I walked over, I tapped on it, and my character automatically started running towards it, but I was like, whoa, 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 and I turned off my auto-combat so my character wasn't going to engage with it. And I just wanted to kind of check out its stats and stuff to see if it's something I could possibly handle by myself. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to continue my main storyline. So I had the enemy clicked, but I wasn't anywhere near it. I didn't want to attack it. I had auto combat and all that stuff turned off. I went and I clicked on my quest just like this. If I were to click here on the top left, my character will start automatically moving towards the next destination of his quest. So I clicked on that, and my character began to move towards the monster, and I was thinking, okay, maybe wherever I'm going is maybe on the opposite side of the monster or in that general direction. No, my character automatically moved up to the boss and started attacking it, even though I clicked on my quest to auto path to my next area. And so the auto mechanic in this game is super heavy. Like there are certain instances like dungeons and raids and certain PvP places like arenas and stuff like that where auto combat isn't automatically placed and sometimes taken away. However, I found it to be extremely aggressive. If I'm trying to just auto path to the next area, I find that if I have a monster selected, it'll just automatically begin to move me towards there. Sometimes if monsters attack me, my character will stop his movement and go and start attacking them. And even then, sometimes the auto pathing kind of sucks as I get stuck in walls and my character won't automatically run to the next area and stuff. And that's like a huge problem for me. Now, besides the auto combat and auto mechanics in this game, everything else is pretty good. I do like the equipment. I do like some of the content and stuff that you can engage with. There's a huge emphasis on playing dungeons daily because that's where a lot of the equipment items that you're going to get from. The PvP is pretty good when you get a chance to actually try it out, despite the fact that combat can be really annoying if you're trying to do it manually. But there is a good amount of content in this game. Now, I do want to show you some of the cool stuff that my character does have. Right here, let's go to my equipment. This is my character right now. Now, there are 3 different classes, like Warrior, Valkyrie, and like a Mage. And depending on what faction that you join, they have their own interpretations of the different classes. Now, if you join, I joined the Empire, which is the blue side. I cannot play on the red side. So if you have friends that you want to play with, make sure they're on the right side with you, on the right faction with you, or else you're not going to get a chance to play with them. Now, one of the things I do like about this game with the auto questing, auto pathing, is if I go into menu systems like this, and if I'm going through and doing quests and stuff like that, I can go into these menus and my character will still be doing stuff in the background and take care of quite a bit of things. In fact, I cleared a couple of quests and stuff just by simply letting my character go through and auto quest through a lot of things. So it looks like we're kind of in a dungeon right now, so I'm gonna let the character kind of auto quest, auto path through this. And you can see up on the top right, there's 3 stars and a timer. Now, basically, the better that you do in dungeons by getting those 3 stars, you do get better equipment item from that. And you do get a good amount of pretty good stuff, but it is randomized, so there is a chance that you might have to run through dungeons multiple times. It does give you sweeping tickets, so if you have some sweeping tickets, you can automatically clear dungeons without having to play through them. And to get equipment item, you do get a good amount of equipment items simply by playing through the game, but one of the things that I wanted to test out with a game that has such a heavy emphasis on PvP is how pay to win is it. And this game is pay to win. I'm going to say that up front, okay? There's no denying that. You can spend money getting chests that you can use to unlock to get really rare equipment items. You can get a lot of rare equipment items simply by playing through the game and going through dungeons and stuff like that. That's fine if you want to take the time to invest and to do that, but if you don't want to, you can spend money to get some better equipment items, even though it is RNG. I decided to drop $5 just to test this out to see what would happen. And I was actually able to get not even rare items, like not even like super mythic or legendary items. I just got some basic rare ones, and my power increased significantly just by equipping those. And I got it just by spending $5 in the game. And I was already ahead of the curve when it came to the power level needed to defeat certain dungeons and bosses like that. So yeah, there is kind of a strong emphasis on pay to win in this game, which kind of sucks. But if you do want to spend time, you can acquire good items, but if you don't want to, you can bypass that by buying equipment items. It's not just buying cosmetics. You can, in fact, buy chests that you can unlock to get some pretty strong rare items. Now, if you really want to like min-max your character, you will have to take down certain dungeons and stuff. You don't want to just, automatically buy chests and stuff just to get random gear and things like that. If you really, in later levels, if you really want to min-max your character the right way, you're going to want to go through certain dungeons to get certain armor sets and certain equipment items and things like that. So now that I've gone through a couple of different things, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the equipment that my character had. If I can actually get out of this auto-pathing stuff real quick. Head on over to my bag, which I was showing you before. Now, it all comes in different rarities, and the higher the rarity something is, the harder it is to advance that item through development. Now, what you can do, and I recommend this, don't go and sell all of your items right off the bat if you see your bag slowly starting to fill up. Save those items to be able to use it to develop other ones. So, for example, this Thunderous Greatsword, I go ahead and hit develop, and then I can sacrifice my other weapons to enhance its overall level. Once it gets to the max level, if I've got certain equipment pieces, I don't think I've got one that's actually maxed. If I have certain materials, I can actually increase the overall grade of the equipment item, making it go from a normal to fine to a rare. On top of that, let me just go ahead and show you some other things. Let's go ahead and show you on this one real quick. Go ahead and sacrifice this. Gonna get it all the way up to level 30. I might actually be able to show you what it looks like to increase its overall rarity. I do have enough, so let's go ahead and spend that. So now I've got a rare equipment item. I do want to say one thing, though, that I really appreciate about this game is there does seem to be a good variety of different equipment, like 3 or 4 different sets that you can slowly acquire by playing dungeons and defeating monsters and stuff like that. And so you can kind of customize the overall look of your character, and you do slightly differ from other characters because they do have different equipment styles and stuff like that. I hate it when there's games where, like, as you're playing through it, you look almost exactly the same as every other player in the area. This one does give you a little bit of different variety with the different styles. Like if I go ahead and equip this, you can see like what different equipment items look like if I have it equipped like this. So if I go ahead and equip this one, oh, that's the exact same as that one. So there you go. This is my equipment. My character overall is looking pretty good. I actually really like his sword and his blades. There are some pretty cool overall equipment from that you acquire from the game, like that makes your character look cool. And I want my character to look cool. On top of that, there is a whole bunch of different achievements and quests that you can complete through. And this is one of those games where you're not going to have red dots, but you're going to have exclamation marks that just pop up all over the place, that you're going to move from one area to the next, just completing these achievements, acquiring different, different rewards and stuff like that simply by just playing through the game. You can see right here, I'm increasing my overall reputation. You can spend money, like real premium currency, to bypass all this stuff if you don't want to. Another thing too is if you want to get the most out of your gameplay, you're going to want to play at least 2 hours a day so you can get this equipment box that gives you a rare to mythic gear every single day. So it does give you a chance to get those rare items, but you do have a way better chance by spending money to get stuff. So one last thing I do want to show you with the character progression, there is some interesting aspects to the game when it comes to progressing your character. Now, you do acquire skill points that you can distribute between all the different skills that you'll eventually slowly unlock. However, you don't get a whole lot of skill points. Usually, I feel like with a lot of games, when you get skill points, you get like one every level. With this one, I mean, that could be the case, but I find that I have like one skill point like every half an hour to an hour. Like I don't get a whole lot of these. So you can go through them, you can use them to increase the overall stats of different abilities, increasing your overall total attack and stuff like that. You can also use skill points to enhance passive abilities. But I do want to show you one thing that I think is cool, and this has a large emphasis towards the PvP aspect of the game, is they have these attributes, which is sort of like a skill tree system, where you have your active, your passive, and then you can go and you can swap them in and out. You can only have certain ones attached at certain times when you're going into combat. But essentially, when you're going down and you're leveling up your character through these level 35, 45, 55, you get to choose either one of these to be equipped onto your character for free, or you can spend premium currency to unlock the other one as well. But basically, you swap these in and out. You can only have one equipped at a time, and it's a way for you to kind of customize your character towards the PvP aspect. So looking at this, I've got the blind level 1, or the strike level 1. So with the strike, I have a chance of stunning and weakening nearby enemies, or if I go with blind, I can disorient and weaken surrounding enemies that way. So depending on how you want to build your character, it's kind of a cool system where you can go through and you can swap these out and kind of decide how you want to build your character in terms of how you want them to work in PvP. So there you go, guys. That is AxE, Alliance X Empire, a new MMORPG or MMO character management game that does the character management pretty good. The auto pathing is really heavy in this game and sometimes doesn't work very well, which is my biggest deterrent from this game that I don't like personally. But other than that, your characters look cool, combat animations look really good. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game, and because it's been out in the East for such a long time, there's a lot of content going forward as well. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date in the latest in mobile gaming. All right, friends, I'll see you next time.